Hello everybody, so here is your Tiger Buddy again, and I'm here to answer a comment on my last video. So on my last video, someone commented with hello Mistress or something like that, and I found that amusing, and I decided to leave the comment, so please do not delete it and leave it there. But I found it funny because as far as I understand, the word mistress is normally used only in BDSM, and it's not that widespread in other contexts. I made a research online. I'm not a native speaker, so my native language is actually Italian, and therefore I had to look it up. So think since I posted a few BDSM videos, I think I'm gonna answer that, starting from the assumption that it was meant as me being dominant, which is quite amusing for me, and you'll see why. Anyway, so first of all, let me explain why the angle, because I've seen that a lot of people from the Z generation don't understand why Xers like me, Gen X people like me, do make photos and videos with this angle. This prevents us from using any filters. So basically you put the camera up and you do not require any filters. That's basically it. So yeah, this is my face. No filters, no anything, no makeup, no nothing. And I even need to fix my eyebrows, but anyway. So back to our topic. So Mistress, I'm not Mistress. I am some sort of a naughty princess, actually glitch princess. And I tend to behave like a queen because I like to consider myself a queen, but I'm not a queen. So basically, I'm not a dominant type. What am I is what I want to talk about. I am submissive. I'm not vanilla. I'm submissive. And the reason why you probably get a dominant vibe is that I have learned to respect myself and to set my boundaries. So when you learn to respect yourself and set your boundaries, what turns out is an assertive kind of behavior. So I'm one of those submissives that decide for themselves and who want to determine if it is worth submitting to that person. I do not submit to just anyone. I only submit to the person that I consider worthy of my submission. And that doesn't make me haughty or anything. It just makes me someone with self-respect. What concerns my categories, I belong one of two categories or both, depending if you believe one of them exists. Because one of the categories is well known and it's brats. I'm not a Sam, I'm a brat. So I'm not one of those masochists that do bratting to get punishment. I am actually just a brat, and actually a subconscious brat. That's what I call myself. It doesn't exist as a definition. It's my personal definition because I do not brat on purpose. Most of the time. Sometimes I do, but it's really extremely rare. But I do not brat on purpose. So I am a brat, but I do not brat on purpose. Alpha brat is a definition that has started to circulate recently, and it's spreading in the community, in the BDSM online community, as a submissive that wants the dominant to actually deserve the submission. And here you have my definition perfectly. So that's what I am. I am a submissive who wants the dominant to deserve the submission. What does it mean? It means that when it comes to facing the dominant and coming in contact with the dominant, I do not submit automatically and then see over time if this person is worthy of my submission. I basically contrast the domination. So through bratting or through assertion, through setting my boundaries and answering in such a way that makes life hard for the dominant to actually get control or gain control over me. What are the ways to gain control over me? Not being domineering. So being naturally dominant, which means being self-assured and not needing to dominate others. That's probably hard to understand for someone new in BDSM and even for some experienced people. Not all dominants have a need for dominance. What does it mean? It means that some people are naturally dominant and some people are naturally submissive. Being naturally dominant doesn't mean that you dominate in every circumstance. It means that you're so self-assured and so assertive that you do not need to even focus on being dominant. You just are. Being submissive or being naturally submissive means that you have an inclination to submit to others. And most of the time it's a problem because at the beginning of your journey, you will end up submitting automatically to pretty much anyone. And that's something that I would suggest to fight against, and not like fight nails and teeth and become a pain in the ass out of the blue for no reason. It's just a self-respect matter. Learn to respect yourself because not everyone out there deserves your submission. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. So as a natural submissive, I worked 7 years on myself to reach to the point where I have become an alpha sub. And with alpha sub, like I said, I mean that the dominant personality that I choose to analyze, maybe that's my word, to see if they're my potential dominant, that person is going to find themselves basically in a battle. It's going to be a war. Consider that I'm a natural brat. So I am a subconscious brat, like I said, and I use that definition because, like I said, most of the time I do not do bratting on purpose. For example, if I say that I'm going to wake up at 5 and run 2 miles, and I say determined to do that, and I communicate it to another person, I'm probably going to wake up at 10 a.m. and watch a movie. That's basically an instinct, something that happens within my head that I have no control on. And that's something that I actually love about myself. I find it funny. Sometimes it's hard to be that way, but I know that when I really want to do something, I need to keep it to myself so that I stick to my schedule and I keep going that way until it becomes a habit. When it has become a habit, it's much more likely that I keep doing that without stopping. But that's basically being a brat. Also, I like to poke my dominant type. If I choose someone to be my dominant, or I would want someone to be my dominant because I see those traits that I consider right for me, and I consider that person potentially capable to dominate me, to truly be a dominant for me, then I start poking. And by poking, I mean, for example, consider my mentor is a very, very masculine, very, very hot and very masculine kind of person. And I call him Bunny or Sexy Bunny or whatever the case may be. So that's who I am, basically. If you are strong and powerful and really domineering, not domineering, dominant. There's a difference. Domineering means they do it on purpose and they are even probably manipulative and they do not know how to do that. Dominant is something else. It's some natural dominant. So if you're strong and assertive and a natural dominant and you know your thing and you know where it's coming from and where it's going, you're going to be adorable and you're going to be a bunny and you're going to be cute and fluffy. And that's what I'm going to call you. That's if I'm interested. That's what I do, basically. So yeah, that's one thing that makes me a brat. Also, I question everything. I question pretty much everything. If there's a loophole, that's mine. I'm going to find it. And so yeah, I'm not a mistress, even though I found it cute and I appreciated that because it means that my path of personal growth brought me to a point where my boundaries are set in a very healthy way. So thank you so much for calling me a way that gave actually something to me. And yeah, I wanted to explain who I am and what it means to me and why I consider myself that way, because I decided that talking about BDSM is going to be one of my topics. And since I'm demisexual, I'm not going to go into the sexual side of things. So kinks is not all about sex. So BDSM is not sex related. It's not necessarily sex related. That's the difference between BDSM and vanilla. Vanilla has something before and hitting the ball to go in the hole, basically. Whereas BDSM has a whole universe behind it that is made of pleasures that are not connected directly to sexuality. There can be a sexual side, but not all scenes are sexual in nature. So that's why I think a demisexual talking about BDSM can be a very good starting point to spread this awareness that BDSM is not necessarily about sexuality. So yeah, I like to talk about dominance and discipline and that kind of stuff, and I will probably go into the topic of brat taming. My mentor enjoys challenging me with videos that he knows scare me, and he goes like, watch this, and I know what kind of video that is, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch that. And that's because I feel like he wants me to, so no, I'm not going to watch that. And that's my current reaction. At the beginning he was like, do not watch it, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna watch it right now immediately. The coffee wars, another thing that makes me a brat. Coffee wars, everyone expects brats to say, I'm gonna go coffee and no water, and I'm like, team water, because water solves all of your problems. So if you have bad skin, drink water. If you're thirsty, drink water. If you want better metabolism, drink water. If people are your issue, drown them. That's me joining team water. So yeah, it was funny. And yeah, so that's my bratting, basically. Another thing that I do, I may start being very childish to the point that I kind of consider myself a little in BDSM. So basically a woman that regresses to a childlike phase in which they behave like a child. I do that. If I'm extremely bored, my bratting turns into me being a little and being a real pain in the ass in public. Yeah, that's how it works. And that's also one thing that since my mentor is watching my videos, I want to tell him that's one side of my personality that you never experienced, and that hurts me that you never experienced. Anyway, yeah, just one thing to say. And so yeah, there's quite a lot about me to say, but dominant is really not my thing. As you can see now, if I don't feel the need or the urge to set my boundaries, because YouTube is a real mood killer, and there's a lot of flamers and trolls and just hostile people on YouTube. So I have a pretty long experience, and I know that I need to defend my boundaries with a sword and shield. And therefore, I shield myself and my community with the self-assuredness and self-awareness that I've gained over time working on myself. So yeah, thank you again for the nice comment. I really appreciate it. And thank you for letting me go into this topic. And I will come back soon with something else, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.